हेलो एवरीवन, आज आप MCQs करांगे फंडामेंटल ड्यूटीज़ ते। It is the duty of every citizen to uphold and protect the sovereignty, unity and integrity of India. The 11th fundamental duty provides opportunities for education for the 6 to 14 age group of children. Fundamental duties are contained within which article of the Constitution of India? Article 51A. The fundamental duty of a parent or a guardian to provide opportunities for education to his child, or as the case may be, varied between the age of 6 and 14. The total number of fundamental duties are 11. A housemaid gets her 12-year-old daughter to help in her work as a house cleaner at the residential colony instead of sending her to school. Which fundamental duty is violated by the housemaid? To provide opportunities for education to his or her child. Which article states that it shall be duty of every citizen of India to abide by the Constitution and respect its ideals and institutions, the national flag and the national anthem? Article 51A. In which year were the fundamental duties of citizens added by the Constitution of India by the 42nd Amendment? 1976. Fundamental duties were incorporated in Part 4A of the Constitution by the Constitutional Amendment Act 42nd on the recommendation of the Swearing-in Committee. How many fundamental duties of Indian citizens are there in the Indian Constitution as of March 2022? 11. The fundamental duties are addressed to the citizen. Which of the following is not a fundamental duty of the Indian citizens? Mandatory national service of 5 years. If a citizen is helping the government in protecting the monuments in her area, which of the following fundamental duties is she performing? Valuing and preserving the rich heritage and culture. Which of the following is not a fundamental duty? To prohibit trade in rare and endangered species. According to Article 51A of the Indian Constitution, it is the fundamental duty of every person to uphold and protect the sovereignty, unity, and integrity of India. Which of the following is not mentioned in the Indian Constitution as a fundamental duty? To respect elders. The fundamental duties of citizens were added to the Constitution of India upon the recommendations of which of the following committees? Swearing-in Committee. The 42nd Amendment of the Indian Constitution added fundamental duties. The subsection C in the list of fundamental duties require an Indian citizen to uphold and protect the sovereignty, unity and integrity of India. Which of the following fundamental duties was added to the Indian Constitution by the 86th Constitutional Amendment Act 2002? To provide opportunities for education to her child, or as the case may be, varied between the age of 6 and 14 years. Which of the following is not a fundamental duty listed in the Indian Constitution? To engage in political activities to promote democracy. Which fundamental duty applies to you when you see your college friends start fighting with the canteen person when he passed a few anti-religious statements? To promote harmony and spirit of brotherhood. When was the initial 10 fundamental duties added to the Constitution of India? 1976. According to Part 4A of Indian Constitution, who is a parent or guardian has a duty to provide opportunities for education to his child, or as the case may be, varied between the age of 6 to 14. Which part of the Constitution of India deals with the duties of citizens? Part 4A. The celebration of Christmas, Eid and Holi in school is an example of making children learn fundamental duties as well. Which of the following fundamental duties advocates about this type of ideals to promote harmony and spirit of common brotherhood? The fundamental duties in the Indian Constitution are taken from which country's constitution? USSR. Which was the first country to incorporate fundamental duties in its constitution? USSR. All historical monuments have signatures with instructions that public should not write on the walls. To which fundamental duty does the given statement belong? To safeguard public property and to abjure violence. Article 51A of the Indian Constitution provides for fundamental duties. Which of the following is a fundamental duty? To safeguard public property and to abjure violence. Which fundamental duty applies on you when you see a few school students on their educational trip to Himalayas tomb writing their names on the walls? To safeguard public property. When were the fundamental duties first included in the Indian Constitution? 1976. With reference to Indian Constitution, which of the following statements is correct regarding the fundamental duties? Non-justiciable in the court of law when it is violated. Which article of the Indian Constitution says the duty of every citizen of India to promote harmony and the spirit of common brotherhood amongst all the people of India, transcending religious, linguistic, and regional or sectional diversity? Article 51A. Which of the following committees suggested that the duty to pay taxes should also be a fundamental duty of the Indian citizen? Swaran Singh Committee. Which of the following articles of the Indian Constitution states that it is the duty of every citizen of India to safeguard public property and to abjure violence? Article 51AI. Which of the following is not a salient feature of fundamental duties? They are enforceable by law and can be challenged in court. Which of the following is a violation of 7th fundamental duty related to the environment and wildlife? Trafficking of wildlife animals. Which of the following articles of the Constitution of India lays down that it is our duty to defend the country and render national service when called upon to do so? Article 51A(d). Which of the following articles of the Indian Constitution is related with to assemble peacefully and without arms? Article 19, first B. Who among of the following people is exempted from the applicability of fundamental duties? Foreigners who visit India. Who was the Prime Minister of India when the fundamental duties were first incorporated in the Constitution of India? Indira Gandhi. Which of the following articles of the Indian Constitution enshrines that if we are observing any religious procession, then we need to remember communal harmony? Article 51AE. Fundamental duties are statutory and not enforceable by law but are taken into account by the courts while adjudicating any matter. Which was not the part of original Indian Constitution that was adopted in the year 1950? Fundamental duties. Which of the following lays down the duties of every citizen of India? Fundamental duties, part 4A. In 2002, the number of fundamental duties in the Constitution of India was raised to 11. Who was the Union Minister of Law and Justice at the time of incorporation of the fundamental duties in the Indian Constitution? H.R. Gokhale. Which of the following was not included when the writing of the Constitution of India was completed on 26th 11, 1949? fundamental duties. So this is the result. So thank you for solving MCQs with me.